Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Sherri Horner, your host at Health Fitness Broadcast, bringing you the latest fitness topics and hottest health issues, or the hottest fitness topics and latest health issues. Today, we are focusing on health and wellness for women over 40. My guest today is Rosie Battista, and she is coming from, where are you, North Jersey, New York?
I am in North Jersey.
You're in North Jersey, okay. And she is let me tell you, she's a self-love mentor. We all need one of those, and confidence creator. So she has been in the fitness industry for over 10 years, and I'll tell you more about her later, but we want to get right into the topic. Women over 40, and what we're going to talk about today is must-dos for women over 40 who want to lose weight and effectively and not spend all day in the gym. So with that, Rosie, we are here to pick your brain. So you are how would you describe yourself? A life coach, fitness coach?
Well, so I call myself a self-love mentor because ultimately people come to me for personal training. I do personal training in the gym. I do nutrition coaching. But what I found with working with women is the biggest piece is the self-love piece, and that making time for yourself and that really loving yourself enough that you can fit in good nutrition and exercise. So you can do the nutrition part and the exercise part, but it's not going to be long-term sustainable without that self-love piece, reason being the foundation for getting yourself up and doing the things that make your body feel good. So they're all interconnected, and I really find that to be the key. When women get that, then you're not on a diet, and you're not on like this thing that you're going to go off of. You're on this journey. You're in this lifestyle. You're styling your life to support the health that you want.
That's a good way to put lifestyle, because we throw that word around a lot, lifestyle, but the journey, you added the word journey to that.
Yeah.
And that's just...
for anyone. It's like the Hotel California. You can never leave. And you can't check out either. Because when you do check out, you wind up in trouble. You wind up, you either show up in overweight, show up in overwhelm, you show up in, overdoing. You're in this spiral. And then you're like, oh my God. So either when 40 comes and 50 comes, you either get bopped in the head. A lot of people get sick. And they're like, oh my God, that's a big aha. Or you just can't put on your clothes anymore. You look in the mirror one day and you say, "Oh, what happened to me?"
Right. So, I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot from women. And the self-love is so important because as women get to that age, the negative self-talk, not to yourself, to yourself also, but from other people. Well, you're getting older now. Well,
yes.
You're supposed to be achy. Well, you're supposed to gain weight. Everybody gains weight after they turn 40. So women hear this negative stuff, and then they start to tell themselves that, oh, that's right, I'm heavier than I was in my 30s, but that's okay because I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, and I love that you said that because there is this belief system that, oh, well, I'm old, so I'm supposed to get a disease. And that is not true. We earn the diseases over time, and they just happen to show up because we've spent so many years abusing ourselves.
I like the way you put that too, Rosie. We earn the diseases.
We earn them. Cancer, heart disease, and diabetes are really earned diseases because they take a long time to build up in your body, but from years of like neglect and abuse and overdoing, overeating, not taking care, then they show up. And if you're lucky enough to get the aha moment before you get a disease, it's great because it's much easier to stay healthy than to like reverse.
Right.
So that's just another added part to it. But the whole idea that as we age, we have to, things have to start to hurt or we have to get less energy. I mean, I really, I will argue that with anyone, and that is like not true. That is just an unbelief that we turn into something that we live into. It's a non-truth. And well, for me, the proof was at 49 when I found myself in this overwhelmed, overweight, like everything seemed burdensome. I had like a lot of problems that most women at that age would face. My second divorce, loss of my house, financial issues, had to get rid of my home, anything, lots of stuff. It felt like one cloud. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? So that's when I decided the thing that came to me to do was to enter a bodybuilding competition.
I think this is awesome. So and you were 50, right, when you entered?
So my 50th birthday, I was 50 in July and I stood on stage in August. And what I learned from that was so amazingly valuable, because the second that I stood up, that's when I started this Sleeping Naked After 40 business, really focusing on this self-love piece. When I realized that everything that I was searching for was already inside me, but that I had this just belief, like you had said, people telling me, you can't do that. You're in menopause and you had 3 kids and you're too old and your body's not going to respond and there's just no way. And I literally had to put earplugs in and just the blinders on. You know how they put on the horses?
Yeah.
And say, you know what, I'm not interested in what anyone has to say. I'm going to believe so much in myself that if I take the steps every single day, every single way, I just do the thing the best that I can, that I'm going to show up on that stage the best that I can. And that's what happened. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
And let me ask you something about bodybuilding contests for women over 40. Did you find that the younger competitors are more competitors and the older women, meaning over 40, are more competing with themselves to get to the better state?
No.
No?
Oh, I'm actually so it was very interesting, that first competition, because I competed also against my daughter.
Awesome.
And we were both competing for a first time. We got to stand on stage. We were actually next to each other, which was amazing.
Yes.
So not that, I'm going to compare myself to a 20-year-old body, but the thing is, she was the youngest and I was the oldest in the whole competition.
So you were the bookends. That's
we
great.
were, and 35 other women in between. And the women that win and that look the best and get the trophies are really in their late 30s, early 40s, because your muscle is very mature and you're just more confident, and it's about confidence, about how you present, and it's about how you show up there and how you present. So it was a very interesting thing. I will tell you that they don't have a category for women over. So it wouldn't matter. Like the category of masters is 35 and up. So I would be thrown in with women 35 anyway. Like there's no over 50 category.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's very interesting. But it really is this piece of like how it's a lot of self-care and you're only focused on you. And so with that, it taught me a lot of things about that. Is that, that was the focus that I put, was just on me. And am I expecting everyone to do that or enter a bodybuilding competition? Absolutely not.
But that's what drove you to get on that road to healthier living and stay there. So let me ask you, what are some tips that women over 40 can do to lose weight effectively and without spending hours at the gym?
Okay.
We said.
So the easiest one, and this works magnificently, it's just approach each meal as the best that you can make it. Is this meal the best choice for me right now, the most loving choice right now? So, if you're like debating, like, oh, I'm just going to run really quick and grab that slice of pizza or drive through and grab fast food, or can I go and sit really nice and just have a salad? What's the most loving thing I can do? And you have the opportunity every single day to make that meal count. It feels different when you eat, when you're sitting with a napkin and a place setting and you're actually sitting for a second and breathing, versus running through and eating in the car because you're so rushed and your digestion's not working. I mean, how many people we do that, right? Because we're like, oh, I'm too busy, I can't. I'm too busy, I can't. Or we forget to eat. And then we eat a really big meal at the next meal. Right?
At the end of the day, and I've talked with I've interviewed, of course, a lot of fitness and wellness professionals, and some of them have experienced this just like anybody in any other career. When you're working all day long and you don't get a lot of breaks, and at the end of the day, you're exhausted, you're hungry, and you eat. So I've seen medical professionals and fitness professionals add weight, unwanted weight, just like everyone else in every other industry and career. But it's another good tip you might give, or I would suggest, to keep the nutritious snacks with you at always. In your car, in your purse, in your desk.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that, bodybuilding teaches you. You're always prepared. You're never caught without your food, because you're eating a lot and you eat, often, and you have to have it with you. So you don't want to be caught unprepared, because then what are you going to do? You're going to make, we're human. We're going to just grab a choice out of hunger, being tired, being cranky, whatever, and we'll make the wrong choice.
What about some more weight loss tips for women over 40?
So one of the pieces that I find, this is another one, it's because the ultimate idea is, if you do this self-care, your normal body weight's going to show up. So it's like, the focus doesn't have to be on, oh, how much weight am I going to lose, but how well can I care for myself? So I like to, what I do with clients and they find this works is that, so if I said, Sherri, how would you, if I gave you this most precious, beautiful little child, you're not going to say, no time to feed you today, doll. I'll feed you later, maybe. Or if I have a chance, I'll like, oh, we'll just grab, like, we'll grab a bag of Cheez-Its. That's good enough. That's not going to be good enough for this beautiful person that you're taking care of and that you love. So can you switch that around and do and say that about yourself? Wait, hold on. What's good enough for my very precious self? I'm very unique. I'm the only one like me, and I have only one body that I'm in right now that I am responsible for, and I have the obligation to care for. So
And
how
that
am I
comes back-
treating myself,
That
right?
comes back to that self-love that they
Absolutely.
talk about. And love yourself as much as you would as a precious baby.
Yeah, or your
Take care
best
of yourself.
friend, or because a lot of people can't get that concept of like, well, how can I love myself? Or they have this idea that it's selfish or whatever. But if you say, oh, well, oh, if I was caring for someone that I love so much, I would treat them differently than I treat myself. And you get, oh my God, it's a big aha for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is good. That is
Yeah.
good. Okay, you have one more tip for weight loss, and then I want to share some more about your story.
So I would say the women that think they're going to get in really good shape and lose weight by doing like hours and hours on a treadmill, no. You've got to do weight-bearing things. You know, no matter what your age or stage, you've got to, because you want to keep up your body strength and leg strength so you don't fall and that you don't reach for a pot and it comes crashing down on your head. So I'm not saying go in and lift heavy, but I mean, you can if you gradually build up to that, but you want to have some kind of weight bearing. And walking is even weight bearing. So like you've got to move every day. You cannot sit behind a desk and think you're going to get healthy, because it's just, they don't, you know, we have to move ourselves.
Good.
So, yeah.
You've been in the industry for a long time, well, 10 years, but I'm sure you were doing a lot before that. But the old myth is so old, where women would say, oh, I don't want to lift weights because I don't want to get bulky. But I think now with the education and information out there everywhere, women no longer, they know that's not true.
I don't know.
But yet they're still shy about picking up the weight.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think, I don't know that they know that's not true. I think they think if they lift heavy, they're going to get big muscles. But it's also like, if you're eating a lot, I mean, that could be too. So like the food is a big, huge piece of it. If you're eating for like the weight of a truck driver, like I like to say this, if what you're eating is like enough to feed a truck driver, your body's going to start looking like that. Yeah. You're not going to have a lean, you know,
I like that.
dainty body.
You should write that down. Eat like a truck driver, look like a truck driver. But not all truck drivers are overweight. But
I know. I'm sorry, truck drivers.
Right.
So let's say whatever weight you are is what you're.
Any career where you're sitting for a long time, whether you're traveling or you're sitting at a desk, is gonna be a challenge to maintain a good, healthy weight. So. So you and your daughter both competed in bodybuilding. You have 3 kids. They're all in the fitness and wellness industry, right?
Sorry for my barking dogs, because someone just pulled out of my driveway.
Oh, that's okay.
So they're protecting me.
Expressing their love.
They are.
Yeah. Go ahead,
yeah. So it's very interesting. My one son owns a personal training facility, and he's a personal trainer. That's what he does for a living. And my daughter is a registered dietitian and also a personal trainer.
Nice.
So my other son is a iron worker, but lifts
healthy.
Like really very old-fashioned kind of like idea of what weight training is. My daughter's a little more practical, functional. Everyone has their own little niche of it, which it's very interesting. But we're all in the field of helping people and staying healthy and, you know, physical body and but it's just proof that there's no right way. Really? There's no right way. It's just do whatever makes you feel really good. Right. But do something.
And what's going to make you feel good in the long run? Because, hey, eating a great piece of chocolate cake can make you feel good for a moment. You know, but is it going to make you feel good tomorrow? And the
thing is, does it really? It makes you feel good for like a fleeting moment, because if you were eating that sugar, you're going to start to get like the sugar high and low. And if you really noticed, like I'll take people through like a really awareness kind of eating, so that if you notice that that's actually affecting the way you actually feel and think and how tired you are, you're like, wait a second, I don't really want that. I don't want the results of that piece of cake. So it doesn't look so intriguing to me anymore, or so appetizing.
Well, speaking of being tired, women over 40, do you have any comments or suggestions when hormones play into it, caffeine and sugar, if you're hooked on them,
Yep.
if you're tired and you're going for the caffeine and sugar because you have to have energy, you have to work, any suggestions along those lines? Of course, to wean off the sugar and caffeine, but how much do you find hormones play in our low energy level of women over 40?
So you mean, I mean, I'm probably going to get feedback for this, but I'm less involved. I'm less like the hormone thing. I feel can be used more as an excuse. Oh, it's my hormones. Versus, oh, but what about all the sugar you ate today and all the caffeine? How about if you had no sugar? Let's see then how your hormones can function in a better way. And the food that you're eating. If you're eating processed fake food, you're eating inflammatory foods. Your body is not it's not working productively or performing well. So address first the food issues, and then when everything's perfect, then you can address the hormones. But we're quick to say, oh, I need hormone this and that, when we're not eating the right way.
Right. So I want to mention some statistics that you sent me. A recent survey of over 1,700 women over the age of 50 found that only 12% said they were satisfied with their shape and size. So that is what you do with the self-love, confidence building. I want to talk about your book. Earlier in the interview, you mentioned when I started this whole sleeping naked after 40, and some people may not have got like, what is she talking about? The book. Can you show the book, because I don't have it right here in front of me, but it is Sleeping Naked After 40. And I will have your contact information along with this video so anyone can contact you about that. So tell us about the book.
Yeah. So I call this a guidebook, and it's 12 chapters. So you can go through it, a chapter a month, a chapter a week, however you want. And there's nutrition information, attitude, right, and exercise, which is actual, not exercise in the gym per se, but exercise in how you can start to think better or do something different, like an actual action step is what I mean by exercise or experience. So one of the things you were talking about, women not liking their bodies, I do a lot of work on that in the non-judgment of ourselves, in the appreciation of ourselves. So I actually have a little heart-shaped tattoo, and I have love letters to your body and to especially the body part that you pick on a lot. So women will pick on their stomachs a lot. And then when they start to really say, wow, but you know what? Here's where 3 children lived in here, or, this is my journey in life. And so like appreciating, like, wow, my body shows up for me every single time. My body is resilient. My body is functioning, and I'm able to experience things in this world, and bringing it down to like this idea that, it's like out of judgment of like these magazine ads that we see that are all, we know now that they're fake. They're showing a lot of that airbrushing. And I mean, it's all in the eye of who's got the perfect body. I mean, it's only as perfect as you say.
I love what you're doing. If you can think of one last tip to give us before we go, what would it be? One tip that maybe will turn someone around their mindset from negative to positive, or any tip on weight loss. Or
so one little thing that works really, really well, it sounds crazy, but like, we all have these little thoughts in our head that talk negative to us, so we have that. So what I like to do, if I get like a little thought like that, I don't even pay attention to them. I'll notice them, and I'll say, oh, thanks for sharing, not that interested in you today, and I'll just let it go, and I'll replace it with a more positive thought. So I change my language, so I don't say, oh my God, I feel fat today, or do I look fat? No, I focus on, how gorgeous I am and how amazing, and you switch how you start to feel. And so everybody can look in the mirror and say, wow, good morning, gorgeous.
Oh,
and it just switches you, right? So good morning, gorgeous. That's how you greet yourself in the morning.
I like that. I'm looking forward to reading your book. Sorry, I haven't read it yet, but I am going to read it and do a book review on it.
Thank you.
So before we go, I want to ask you, Rosie, if you will show Sherri your shoe, your favorite shoe, and why you like it.
I will share my shoe.
Share your shoe.
So my shoe is this gorgeous purple velvet.
Sweet.
And
what will make you feel gorgeous.
It makes you feel gorgeous.
Yeah.
I actually wrote this post on Facebook yesterday. I said, I choose to wear purple shoes even if, and especially if, they don't match anything else. So for me, these represent me stepping out of the box, stepping up into a really powerful life,
And being confident.
being confident, and just owning who I am, no matter what anyone says.
Oh,
And I'm 50 and I can wear these, and I do.
Owning who I am. I'm going to remember that. I like it. Well, I have a shoe today, and this is a Skechers Sport.
Ooh.
This is the sturdiest shoe. I love it. I hang on to them because I wear them especially in the wintertime when you never know where that black ice is. These things just are
I love that.
concrete. I love them. I mean, they're not heavy to wear, but they are sturdy and they keep me from slipping on that ice, which I've done before. I've broken bones and things. So
Don't want to do that.
So I love this Skechers Sport, and it's actually called Skechers Premium Sport. So love it, and it goes with anything because it's black, so I can wear it with my jeans or with my workout clothes, and don't run in it, but it's excellent to wear in the wintertime. So
Perfect.
I want to thank you again, Rosie, for joining us, and
Thank you.
you'll come back and give us some more tips and share some more information.
Yes, I'd love to.
And I appreciate your time, and I look forward to that book, and I can't wait to tell everyone more about it.
Thank you.